President Tinubu calls for synergy between police, security agencies, Nigerians. Oyo government flags off disbursement of 3 billion naira gratuity, death benefits of retirees. White House denies considering nuclear strikes on Iran's environmental damage after ships coal. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the news around the world. I am Ifeoluwa Olaoye, and on the sign language corner is Shakirat Ogundeji. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday urged Nigerians to collaborate with the police and other security agencies to effectively tackle insecurity across the country. The president, represented by Vice President Kashim Shettima, stated this while speaking at the 2026 National Police Day Grand Parade in Abuja. He noted that national safety could not be achieved by law enforcement alone, stressing the need for citizens, community leaders, and institutions to actively support policing efforts. The president warned that mistrust between citizens and law enforcement would worsen insecurity. He added that Nigerians must begin to see the police as partners in maintaining peace and public safety. The president also charged the leadership of the Nigerian police force to sustain reform efforts and uphold professionalism in service. The Oyo State Police Command has arrested 3 suspected armed robbers and recovered a toy pistol in Ibadan. The suspects were apprehended during a routine stop-and-search operation by operatives of the Bodija Housing Division along Awolowo Road, Bodija. The incident occurred on the 6th of April 2026 when the officers intercepted a Bajaj motorcycle carrying 3 occupants. The suspects were all said to be residents of the Barimo area of Ibadan. A search conducted on them led to the recovery of a toy pistol concealed in a black nylon, along with 6 different mobile phones. Police say the discovery raised suspicion, prompting their immediate arrest. During interrogation, the suspects reportedly confessed to robbing unsuspecting members of the public of their valuables. The Oyo State Police Command has arrested an additional suspected kidnapper linked to a notorious kidnapping syndicate in the state. The suspect, identified as Taye Adamu, was arrested on April 5, 2026 at Iluju village. Police say the arrest was carried out by operatives of the Ikoyile division following credible intelligence and sustained follow-up operations. The command noted that the suspect is believed to be a member of the same gang earlier apprehended in Ikoyile, where an AK-47 rifle was recovered. During interrogation, the suspect reportedly confessed to participating in kidnapping and other violent crimes within the area, providing useful information to investigators. The Commissioner of Police in Oyo State, Abimbola Olubenga, has directed that the suspects be transferred to the State Anti-Kidnapping Squad for further investigation. Police efforts are ongoing to apprehend other fleeing members of the syndicate. We'll go on a break now. Please stay with us.
Win your share of 3 billion naira with Nivea. 1,000 naira airtime guaranteed with every entry. Become one of 10 millionaires weekly or win a chance to see Real Madrid live. 3 SUVs to be won. Buy any Nivea 400ml promo product, scratch and dial to enter.
Alright, everyone, no put your ears. Make we talk. Time don't reach to rearrange the sounds to give us small wisdom. Sounds mighty fresh now, but you know, I beg no be so. Before I go talk, say our smile no reach. Make not think I'm twice so. Ever heard of Colgate? The #1 oral care brand in the world.
Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection unlocks 24 hours cavity defense. The formula boost with calcium for lifelong smiles.
Mom, it's a time to brush. No more cover mouth.
Colgate for 24 hours maximum cavity protection.
When malaria knocks you down, you can be sure parasites are having a party in your system.
Welcome to our new kingdom, guys!
Comel, an effective weapon against malaria.
Coleman!
Attacking the parasite army directly to give you express relief and get you back on your feet effectively. Comel on. Malaria gone.
The gold standard of rice, the finale. High swelling index, non-sticky, no stones. Big Bull Gold, the gold standard of rice.
Thank you for staying with us. The Oyo State government has flagged off the disbursement of 3 billion naira as gratuities and death benefits to retired local government staff and primary school teachers. The initiative is aimed at improving the welfare of pensioners across the state. Our correspondent Folashade Akintola reports that the flag-off ceremony was held at the local government staff training school secretariat.
The flag-off ceremony marks another milestone in Oyo State government's ongoing effort to enhance welfare of retirees. The exercise is organized by the Local Government Staff Pension Board will be conducted across zones of the state, including Ibadan, Oyo, Ogbomoso, Ibarapa, Okeogun 1 and Okeogun 2. Speaking at the event, the chairman of the board, Honorable Akim Ige, said the disbursement has brought relief and renewed hope to beneficiaries who had long awaited their entitlement. He disclosed that over 1,000 retirees will benefit from the current phase, with payment to be extended across all zones of the state. Honorable Ige advised beneficiaries to make judicious use of the fund, particularly in addressing their health needs.
There is no governor or government in the whole of the federation that has done as much as what Seyi Makinde has done. As I speak to you, the federal government has not even paid the pension of February to its pensioners. Seyi Makinde paid its own maybe on the 19th or so of the month. And we are expecting another one in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So Seyi Makinde has been doing wonderfully. We commend him.
In a goodwill message, the State Secretary of the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, Comrade Segun Abaton, commended the state government for the initiative and called for its sustenance. Earlier in his open remarks, the permanent secretary of the board, Mr. Olufemi Akindele, described the initiatives as a clear demonstration of the government's commitment to the well-being of retirees.
Our governor is a friend to both the workers and the pensioners because they have been taking very, very good care. You can see smiles on the faces of the pensioners here today because they are very glad.
Some beneficiaries expressed appreciation to the government, describing the payment as timely and impactful. A symbolic presentation of check to selected retirees marks the official commencement of the disbursement exercise. Dignitary at the event included the Special Advisor on Finance, Budget and Planning, Alhaji Gafar Bello, the Special Advisor on Establishment and Training, Alhaji Shiju Lawal, as well as Permanent Secretary from various zones of the state. Folashade Akintola, BCOS News.
The Olubadan of Ibadanland, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja Arusa I, has officially launched the Ibadan Economic Investment and Business Development Desk, a flagship project of the Olubadan Economic and Investment Committee aimed at establishing a robust economic framework for the future prosperity of Ibadan. The inauguration ceremony highlighted the launch of the Ibadan Guards Security Coordination Initiative and the official commissioning of Ibadan Gari for the residents. Staff reporter Olubumi Lawal was at Olubadan Palace, the venue of the event. We'll bring you details. The preservation of Ibadan's storied history is set to receive a significant boost with the Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes launch of the Ibadan Historical Library and Hall of Fame. The initiative was spearheaded by Dr. Debo Akonde, an Ibadan-born technocrat and Director General of the Oyo State Agribusiness Development Agency. BCOS reporter Olamipo Sishola, who attended the groundbreaking event held at the Ibadan House, venue of the event, brings the details.
Undoubtedly, Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, was regarded as the home of warlords due to its role in defending Yoruba territories. In an effort to conserve this remarkable heritage, Dr. Debo Akonde collaborated with the Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes to conceptualize the Ibadan Historical Library and Hall of Fame.
This is the right side view. The rear view of the building.
In a remark, Chief Ajeniyi Ajewole, President General of the CCI, appreciated Governor Seyi Makinde's significant contributions to the progress of Ibadan land.
I think the governor of your state tó ṣe tó tó báyìí fún Ìbàdàn dáhùn Seyi Makinde. Incidentally, Governor Seyi Makinde ò bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe dáadáa fún CCI Ìbàdàn nígbà tó di gómìnà. Even when he hasn't ventured into politics.
The chairman of the CCI 2026 Ibadan Week Cultural Festival, Magaji Mashood Akere, also commended the facilitator for the initiative to document Ibadan's historical culture. According to Dr. Debo Akonde, the convener of the Hall of Fame and Historical Libraries Building Project, the library will serve as a repository of Ibadan's archival documents. He solicited financial support for benevolent Ibadan natives for the project's completion.
I came from a family where it has always been about services, and for me, this is an area where I've always had interest to see how we could document the history of Ibadan, and not just documenting paper, but to create a museum where everyone will see the contributors to Ibadan history.
The event was attended by the Ose Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Abiodun Koladaisi, Elegbeda of Egbeda, and sons and daughters of Ibadan land. Olamiposi Ishola, BCOS News.
The Olubadan of Ibadan land, Oba Rashidi Adewolu Ladoja Arisa I, has officially launched the Ibadan Economic Investment and Business Development Desk, a flagship project of the Olubadan Economic and Investment Committee aimed at establishing a robust economic framework for the future prosperity of Ibadan. The inauguration ceremony highlighted the launch of the Ibadan Guards Security Coordination Initiative and the official commissioning of Ibadan Gari for the residents. Staff reporter Olubomi Lawal, who was at the Olubadan Palace, the venue of the event, reports.
The Olubadan of Ibadan, Oba Rashidi Ladoja, has officially launched a community security team aimed at enhancing safety and reassuring potential investors in the city. The initiative falls under the purview of the Olubadan Economic and Investment Committee, which was established in October 2025. The committee consisted of Chief Mrs. Onikepo Akonde, a former Minister of Industry, who served as chairman, Professor Oladapo Afolabi, the co-chairman, and sons and daughters of Ibadan land. The committee's chairperson, Chief Mrs. Onikepo Akonde, emphasized in her opening remarks that effective security measures and strategic investments are crucial to Nigeria's industrial growth and long-term economic stability. She added that the distribution of 5,000 bags of Gari demonstrates a strong commitment to ensuring food security and upholding social responsibility.
The Ibadan Gas Security Coordination Initiative reflects our understanding that development must rest on safety. Security is the foundation of development. Without peace and security, commerce cannot thrive and families cannot flourish. The distribution of bags of Gari underscores our immediate commitment to food security and social responsibility.
Also, Special Advisor to the Governor on Security, CP Fatai Owosheni, retired, charged residents of Ibadan to be involved in the security of lives and property by being vigilant and reporting any security threats.
Tabani State Police, Tabani Canton Penny, a whole society approach to policing and Torawa Jenny. Kinon Penny, a whole society approach to policing. As show up off, at Bajowo, Lori Roy Tuabo. Tori Tebaroti, Nipa Con Radio, OYO. Wani Teba Fesu Lale, Ket Lekun Rere. Òun ṣèjọba ló máa bá yín tọ́ná sílé tó máa bá yín tilẹ̀kùn gbọ̀ngbọ̀n. Sábà dẹ̀ ní pé ìjọba nìkan ni ká gbẹ́tọ́ àbòlé lórí àti di fọ́lọ́ọ̀ṣọ́ tó ń fi okùn ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ gún ọ̀pẹ.
Speaking with the BCOS News, the president of Ibadan Mogajis, Chief Asimiyu Ariori, commended the efforts of Olubadan of Ibadan land and that of Chief Dotun Sanusi for their support towards the initiative of establishment of the Local Guards Initiative.
Ẹ rí pé wọ́n jà ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ́, wọ́n jà ń di ààrẹ mọ́, wọ́n jà ń fọkọ̀ mọ́, wọ́n jà lókè àdó mọ́, wọ́n jà lójà àgbo mọ́, wọ́n jà lóríta mẹ́rin mọ́, ara ṣe ọ̀kan lọ́mọ̀nù. Àwa dúpẹ́ pàtàkì lọ́wọ́ ọ̀kan ṣoṣo àjànàkú tí mi gbó kìjìkìjì Sẹ́nitọ̀ Excellency Ọba Adéwọ̀lú Ọládọjà kádé ó pẹ́ lórí pàṣẹ kábíyèsí abọ́mọjẹ babaláàfin ọba tí ìfọ̀bàjẹ́. Nígbà tí wọ́n dé orí àpèrè, wọ́n rí pé oúnjẹ ti di tó di góòlù ńlù. Kí làkíyèsí tá a bá máa ti ń ṣe wá kí lóògùn rẹ̀. Àwa rí pé àwọn ọ̀bàyéjẹ́ tí wọ́n ń jiyàn gbé, tí wọ́n ń danú gbóòrú, tí wọ́n ń pààyàn ni ò jẹ́ kó sí àwọn tó ń ṣe àgbẹ̀ lóko mọ́.
Also, the Olode of Ibadan land, Chief Kehinde Ege, pledged to work harmoniously with other security operatives to strengthen the security of the ancient city.
Àti ìsìnkẹ́ bá ṣe fẹ́ máa ṣe àti ìṣe wọ́n kàn kọjá jáde lónìí ni nǹkan bíi 2 years ago láti ṣiṣẹ́ gbogbo nǹkan bá fẹ́ tí wàhálà wà fẹ́ sílẹ̀ Ìbàdàn la máa ń lọ síbẹ̀ ká lọ máa ń ṣẹ́tù rẹ̀ gbogbo bí àwọn kidnapping wà gbogbo yẹn ni wọ́n kó wọn lọ tá a máa lọ síbẹ̀.
The highlight of the event was the symbolic commissioning of the Ibadan Guards and the unveiling of Ibadan Gari for the masses. Dignitaries at the event included members of the Olubadan Council, the President General of the Central Council of Ibadan Indigenes, Chief Ajeniyi Ajewole, and other prominent sons and daughters of Ibadan land. Olubumi Lawal, BCOS News.
Another time out, please don't go away.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, enriched with 95% pure vitamin C and pulp extract. For visibly radiant and even-toned skin in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Even Glow, for your shade of beautiful.
Refreshment is goodness to go round in the Peak Yogurt Drink 1 liter Full House pack with more refreshment, which contains fresh cow milk. Enjoy Full House goodness filled with essential vitamin and minerals. Peak, reach for your peak.
Super Malt Multivitamin Junior.
Tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance Rice Bran Oil is rich in Gamma Original. Golden Terra Smart Balance Oil reduces bad cholesterol.
Thank you for staying with us. Concerns continue to trail the recent attack on churches in Kaduna State during Easter celebrations, with stakeholders calling for urgent and decisive measures to address the country's security challenges. Speaking on BCOS Current Affairs program, Kutu High, analysts outlined key steps needed to curb insecurity. Our correspondent, Folashade Akintola, now reports.
Following the Easter Sunday attacks in Kaduna, stakeholders says the incident underscores the need for more proactive and localized approach to security. Speaking on the development while featuring on BCOS Kutu High program, a legal practitioner and the former chairman of Nigeria Legion, Oyo State Council, Barrister Lasisi Adetunji, emphasized the importance of establishing state police as a strategic step towards improving internal security. He also called for errant welfare and the provision of modern equipment for security operatives, noting that this will significantly boost their effectiveness.
Those items, the equipment to be used by troops, this will improve on it. That is by providing the modern equipment for them that they will be using. Also, the welfare of troops that are going there should be paramount in their mind. Those people who are involved, the sponsors and those collaborators, they should make them known to the people and let them be ashamed. Let them shame them, let them name them, and let us know where they are hidden. When we do this, I think there will be peace in this country.
Barrister Adetunji further urged citizens to remain vigilant and support security agencies by promptly reporting suspicious activities within their community.
The population watch their environment. If you see any stranger, say it out. When you see something or you hear something, let the security agency know where they are and then report. If you do this, we are going to be safe together.
Also speaking, public affairs analyst Mr. Omowa Segun Oke identified financial insensitives as a major drive of insecurity. He advised against the payment of ransom, warning that it only encourages and sustains criminal activities.
The source of this insecurity is financial emolument that they are getting from there. People are been getting money from there by, when you kidnap, you get money. By the time they pay your ransom, you're going to work again, they will get enough fund from there. That's why they are doing it. The government is trying on its own. But those who are to carry out the operation in the bush are getting counter order from the people on top. We must be our brother's keeper. We must be our watchword. If you see any movement in the environment, don't call the police. Call those around you to stop it.
Mr. Oke also stressed the critical role of community vigilance and cooperation in tackling insecurity at the grassroots level. Stakeholder agrees that addressing insecurity requires a combination of government actions, community participation, and a strategic reforms, including improved intelligence gathering and a stronger security frameworks. For Lashade Akintola, BCOS News.
Tensions heightened in Angwan Rukuba community in Jos North local government area of Plateau State on Tuesday as angry women took to the streets carrying leaves and chanting songs to stop the planned mass burial of some victims of the Palm Sunday Dead Day attack by gunmen. The protesting women, joined by some youths, blocked the entrance of the church where the mass burial was scheduled. They cited allegations that military authorities had arrested 3 youths from the community in connection with investigations into the killings. Recall that unknown gunmen suspected to be bandits attacked the Gariwaye area of Angwan Rukuba on Palm Sunday night, killing over 28 people and injuring several others. Governor Muftuang assured residents that his administration had taken swift and decisive actions to address lapses and strengthening security measures across vulnerable areas. Meanwhile, normalcy has returned to the community and the funeral mass for the victims is ongoing. Another commercial break. Please stay with us.
Ní ìgbà kan rí, ilẹ̀ kan wà tí kò ní adùn mọ́. Oúnjẹ ti pàdánù adùn rẹ̀, kò sì sí ohun tí a lè tún fi gbádùn mọ́. Ní ìgbà náà ni Taste Maker yọdé láti dá adùn padà sí ilẹ̀ àìládùn yìí. Gbogbo ohun tí ó ṣe ni ó wọ́n, ó rò ó, ó sì bù ú. Láti ìgbà náà lọ, wọ́n mọ òtítọ́ kan. Gbogbo ohun tí wọ́n nílò ni wíwọ́n, rírò àti bíbù.
Taste Maker.
You're welcome back. The Senate Committee on Health, Secondary and Tertiary has reaffirmed its commitment to strengthening Nigeria's struggling healthcare system. The chairman of the committee, Senator Ikpalibo Banigo, made the pledge on Tuesday in a message to commemorate World Health Day 2026. She stressed the need to prioritize maternal and newborn health in Nigeria, pledging to champion legislative efforts aimed at reforming the health sector. Senator Banigo also called for stronger collaboration among stakeholders, including development partners, civil society organizations, traditional institutions, and healthcare professionals to tackle persistent health challenges. The National Association of Resident Doctors on Tuesday announced the suspension of its planned strike after reaching an understanding with the federal government on key demands. The decision was taken after an emergency meeting of the association's National Executive Council, where members reviewed assurances from government representatives and resolved to give dialogue another chance. NARD said the suspension was informed by progress made in negotiations, particularly commitments on the prompt payment of salary arrears, hazard allowances, and steps towards resolving issues surrounding the Medical Residency Training Fund. Although association did not declare a full resolution of the dispute, it noted that the government had shown renewed willingness to address the concerns. The NEC had granted the federal government a 2-week ultimatum within which concrete, measurable, and verifiable steps must be taken to address all outstanding demands of the association. The recent approval of a fresh $6 billion loan for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is aimed at supporting budget deficit financing and meeting existing debt obligations. However, questions were being raised by 2 guests while discussing the issue on BCOS News and Current Affairs program, matters arising on whether the loan will serve as a boom or a bane to Nigeria's economy. Hawwa Ibrahim monitored the program. A report is presented by Bimbo Akobi.
Recently, the Senate approved President Bola Tinubu's request for a $6 billion external loan to support key national priorities. The proposed loan is expected to strengthen fiscal capacity and ensure more effective implementation of government programs. However, analysts examined whether the loan will drive economic growth or deepen existing financial challenges. An economist, Dr. Adekunle Onile, while participating on BCOS News and Current Affairs program, Matters Arising, he said borrowing and debt accumulation are not unusual globally. He explained that concern arises when the borrowing is unproductive and when repayment becomes difficult relative to a country's gross domestic product.
The money should be channeled towards where the money will now bring dividends. You understand? So it is from that dividend that the country will be able to pay the loan. I mean, pay not only the loan, the interest on it. You understand? Because if you borrow and you're not able to repay the principal and also the interest, this is terrible. You understand? But if you channel that borrowed money into productive venture, that will not only yield back the money, it will also yield back the...
A seasoned journalist, Mr. Sam Nwoko, notes that Nigeria's debt becomes risky when it exceeds sustainable limits. He adds that borrowing can support the economy when properly managed, but mismanagement can turn it into a burden. According to him, loans are often used to keep the economy afloat and to finance projects that may also attract private sector participation.
The speed with which this loan was approved called for suspicion.
Yes.
I don't know if doctor will agree with me.
Yeah,
because
I'll talk about
when it didn't take them 6 hours.
Yes.
It looked like go and bring it. They just stamped it down. And it reminded me of when Dr. Sagay went to the National Assembly, the Senate led by Farouk, by Lawan. And what did he say? He told, when, after they received him on behalf of the president, then that's the late President Buhari, the Senate president said, anything you bring will receive our express approval.
The experts maintain that borrowing is not the issue, but accountability and effective utilization will determine whether the loan strengthens or weakens the economy.
Over now to Sports Desk.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us on the sports segment of the news. I am Victor Pune.
We start with the news that 37-year-old Spanish World Cup winner Juan Mata could miss the remainder of the 2025-2026 A-League men's season after suffering a fracture to his left elbow. Scans taken on Monday confirmed that Mata sustained a fracture during the first half of Melbourne Victory's 1-0 loss to Wellington Phoenix at the weekend. A timeline for Mata's recovery has not yet been established by the club, with discussions to take place regarding potential surgery. When Arsenal face Sporting in their Champions League quarter-final first leg later tonight, there will be much more riding on the game than just a knockout match in Lisbon. The Spaniard boss Mikel Arteta said his team are very clear why they lost to Southampton and believes they did not deserve to be beaten. The Gunners boss said Arsenal are hungrier than ever and that the defeats do not change the importance of the last 8 matches against Sporting. It's revealed that the club worked so hard throughout the season to be at this stage in the competition, and also revealed that Arsenal are going to play an opponent that they know about their records and what they have done. We wrap up with a story that Craig Reader, the former chair of the British Olympic Association (BOA) and the president of the World Anti-Doping Agency (WADA), has died at the age of 84. Freedy chaired the BOA between 1992 and 2005 before going on to become the third president of WADA, serving from 2014 to 2019. As BOA chair, he was part of London's successful bid for the 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games and went on to serve as director of the organizing committee for the two events. He was also a member of the International Olympic Committee (IOC) Executive Board between 2009 and 2012 and as vice president between 2012 and 2016. In his own statement, Lord Sebastian Coe, the chair of the London 2012 Organizing Committee, has revealed that Reedy was the epitome of a gentleman. Reedy was an international badminton player representing Great Britain in the 1960s and subsequently led the Scottish Badminton Union. In 1981, he was elected International Badminton Federation president, where he led a successful campaign to include badminton at the 1992 Olympic Games in Barcelona. He presided over WADA during the revelation of state-sponsored doping by Russia, leading to the country's athletes being banned from competing under the national flag. Reedy was appointed commander of the British Empire (CBE) in 1999, knighted as a Knight Bachelor in 2006, and was later elevated to Knight Grand Cross.
And with that, we have come to the end of the news from the ever-exciting world of sports. Thank you for joining. I am Victor Opone. Over to the main desk now for the rest of the news.
The White House on Tuesday denied that remarks by Vice President J.D. Vance about military operations in Iran had contained any suggestion of a U.S. nuclear strike against the Islamic Republic. The White House said on X that the statement had no implication. This comes after Vance said U.S. forces had tools so far yet to be used to enforce a dramatic ultimatum from President Donald Trump. The post was in response to one from an account associated with former Vice President Kamala Harris that said Vance implied Trump might use nuclear weapons. A train driver has died after his high-speed passenger train collided with a lorry at a level crossing in France. The accident occurred while traveling at an estimated 160 km per hour. Foreign desk editor Folashade Akintola compiled the report and others as presented by Bimbo Akombi.
The incident took place shortly before 0700 hours on Tuesday morning between Bethune and Lens in the northern Pas-de-Calais region. Two people initially deemed to have sustained critical injuries following the crash were doing well, while 13 others sustained minor injuries, local authorities said. The driver of the lorry, which was carrying military equipment at the time, is in police custody, but officials said it was too early to determine the cause. An investigation into potential aggravated manslaughter is underway. The vehicle belonged to a commercial hauler, and the driver was not a member of the military, officials said. The train had been traveling from Dunkirk to Paris when the collision occurred. After hitting the lorry, it continued moving for several hundred meters before coming to a stop. The region's president, Xavier Bertrand, described the incident as a terrible tragedy. In the meantime, a gunman was killed and two were injured in a shootout near the Israeli consulate in Istanbul, which Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan called an heinous act of terror. Two policemen were slightly injured in the gunfight, Turkish Interior Minister Mustafa Sifti said. Sifti said the attackers had come to Istanbul from the city of Izmit by rental car, and two of them were brothers. In a statement on X, the Interior Ministry named the gunman killed as Yunus ES, who it said was connected to the terrorist organization that exploits religion. That is understood to be a reference to the Islamic State group, though no group has been said it was behind the attack. Police were initially quoted as saying two attackers had died. Both local governor David Gul later clarified that only one had been killed. The two injured attackers were named as Honor C and NSC, who the Interior Ministry said were brothers. The two police officers injured in the shooting were not in life-threatening conditions, the ministry's statement added, with one shot in the leg and the other in the air. Finally, a Ukrainian drone has killed 3 civilians in Russia's Vladimir region, while 2 Russian attacks killed 7 civilians in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk and Kherson. Drones bombed a residential building in Alexandrovsky district in the west of the Vladimir region, Governor Alexander Avdiv said on Tuesday. A couple and their 12-year-old son were killed in the attack, while their 5-year-old daughter was in hospital with burns, local officials said. Meanwhile, a Russian drone hit a city bus in the Dnipropetrovsk region, Nikopol city, on Tuesday, killing at least 4 people and injuring 16 others, according to Governor Alexandra Hanza. In the south city of Kherson, less than 5 kilometers, that is about 3.11 miles from the front line, a non-stop half-hour Russian attack on a residential area killed 3 elderly people and injured 7 more, Governor Alexander Prokudin said on Telegram. The attacks came a day after Kiev launched significant attacks on Russia's Black Sea export facilities in a conflict which in the past month has seen Ukraine step up attacks on Russia's energy infrastructure. Bimbo Akambi, BCOS News.
To end the news around the world, here again are the main points. President Bola Tinubu on Tuesday urged Nigerians to collaborate with the police and other security agencies to effectively tackle insecurity across the country. The Oyo State government has flagged off the disbursement of 3 billion naira as gratuities and death benefits to retired local government staff and primary school teachers. The White House on Tuesday denied that remarks by Vice President J.D. Vance about military operations in Iran had contained any suggestion of a U.S. nuclear strike against the Islamic Republic. BCOS website is live. Kindly visit www.bcostv.com. You can watch us on GoTV channel 134 and channel 113 on Star Times. And now, before I go, Nigeria is your beloved country. Do everything possible to make her great. That ends the news around the world. Thank you for watching. Good evening.